It's about to go down.
It's lovely pass, and there he turns cleverly. Can he find a finish? Oh, he can!
Skill by Joshua, and a return right hand. Good counter right. Bullen is hurt. Second right hand. That clipped him as well. Now he goes in for the kill.
Well, Ricciardo is inching into the lead, and Ricciardo that win the Italian Grand Prix!
Iguodala running the floor.
Still leading the way with Canada. In there too with the Netherlands.
And Musa makes it 4 goals in 2 World Cup matches.
The Monaco Grand Prix! Ricciardo triumphant in Monza.
Through Bowden Barrett and an early touch and an excellent.
Sports Orbit. We make the world go round.
Hello, viewers out there. You're welcome to Sports Orbit. First of all, we apologize for starting way behind schedule, but the show still continues. My name is Afa Acho. Salif Usman is here with me. Salifu, welcome to Sports Orbit.
Thank you so much.
All right, and also Bernard makes a return to today's episode of Sports Orbit. Also, Bernard, welcome to Sports Orbit.
Thanks for having me.
All right, without wasting of time, we'll go straight into the news where we'll begin with basketball. And where recall that last week, actually, the federal government of Nigeria had withdrawn Nigeria from all international basketball competitions as a result of the lingering crisis in the NBBF. But the Musa faction has actually Abba Abdul Kadir, who is a member of the Kida faction, is threatening that they are going to take the federal government to court because, according to them, the federal government has no right to ban the Basketball Federation from participating in international competitions. According to him, especially, he mentioned that for the Tigers, especially after laboring hard to win titles and doing well for Nigeria, then they won't even have any opportunity to represent Nigeria at international competitions. But, well, for now, they are threatening a legal action. So, Salifu, just when you think this crisis has ended, a new dimension opens up to the crisis every now and then.
I hope and I pray they will be able to carry out their threat. Because it not clearly shows that it's obvious that when you say it clearly shows that it is not about the interest of the basketball, it is not about personal interest. Because when the federation you are answering, the Nigerian Basketball Federation is not Kita Basketball Federation or Abba Kadiri Basketball Federation. It's Nigeria. And everything when you go out to represent the players that are playing, the Tigers is talking about go there to represent Nigeria. He didn't go there to represent Abba Kadiri or anybody or any other individual. So the country, the government of Nigeria, who owns the basketball, who owns the country, who owns the basketball, say in the view of this, in-house fighting, we have to give ourselves time off. Let's use within this period of time off to settle our in-house issues. So to me, any individuals or anybody who is interested in the development of basketball, if first your interest is about the basketball, and if your interest is about the player, the actors, who they are the real actors, these are the players, then you have to embrace this decision. And even the government may have called 2 years. The action of the government is just for you to restrict your step. If within this 1 year, within 1 week, even within that last week where government made this announcement, and the gladiators now say, no, we can't continue this way. Let's come. And you clearly show willingness to work together. You clearly show willingness to show unity to be on the same page. Government will definitely listen to you and say, well, since we have agreed to resolve the issue amicably and to fight for the interest of the basketball and to develop the basketball, then government will definitely leave the suspension. But when you are not threatening, what the issues that was on ground before government takes decisions, still that issues are clearly still on ground. And you are not threatening that they want to go to court, that the government of the country who own the team has no right. And even when you go out for this basketball, you see the same government that pay for the team, pay everything. They want to sue the government to court. I hope they carry out that threat.
Well, kind of looking at this threat by, of course, Abba Abdul Kadir, a member of the Musa Killer-led faction, do you think it would be right for him to go to court, like Salifu said? Then looking at this ban completely, how do you see it? Is it something you are in support with? Because don't forget that the Tigers are supposed to be in the World Cup in Australia, but as a result of the decision by the FG, they won't be in Australia. And also, the Tigers might also lose on the chance to qualify for the 2023 FIBA World Cup. How do you really see this decision by the federal government?
Okay, I see it as a nice one. When looking at referring to Olympics, what happened, where our Nigerian athletes went for Olympic, some were not participating due to one reason or the other. And if you look at it, you see that similar thing may happen if they allow them to go for this competition when the house is not yet together. So him suing government is actually not doing, I will say that it's not necessary. What you do is look for a way to resolve the issue that you have in the basketball team. Then if you resolve this issue and there is no more issue and government refuse to lift the ban, that's now when you now start looking at taking all the other necessary actions you need to. But now there is issue on ground and it's not yet settled. It's not right to go and start suing.
I mean, like you rightly said, I mean, why is it one faction who is always in the news over the other faction has not come out to, really make trouble or cause trouble? They are calm, but you are insisting we are going to court, like you said. So it means this Musakira-led faction, there is more to it than just development of basketball.
Clearly, even within this basketball sagas has been on for 5 years. And if you for 5 years, and within the 5 years, in the last 4 years of the 5 years crisis, Kida was held this way. Though the Tijan Omar faction, who were under faction, they just mellowed down and kept quiet, don't say anything. Allowed Kida, despite that there was still allowed Kida to carry out the functions of the NBBF party, carry the team to the international competition. But all this while, the local league, who is the basic for the development of basketball. If you claim that you are playing you are playing basketball nation, that you are doing well, if you like win the World Cup, and in your domestic house, in your house, it's just like a housewife who went outside painting everywhere, showing fashion that is looking very nice, and you get to his house, you can't sit down inside his house. So you claimed outside that you are a good basketball nation, and in your in your own country, there's no single league, there's no league, there's no basketball. Then what can add years 45 in the last 4 years, what has happened to the faces of the young Nigerians who may have found a career in the basketball?
Exactly.
There was no program. Okay, you claim that there was a call that stopped the league. If there was a call that stopped the league, let's take that side. There was, as a president of the basketball, as a faction basketball, there are other windows. Which you can organize a league, you can organize a competition.
Exactly.
Call it clinic or whatever, any name you can tag it. Then the young player can be played, and then people can have opportunity to be discovered. So the best thing for me, Kivas and whoever is interested in their group, it is Abdul that is speaking, but we know where this voice is coming from. He should call his mellow down. If it's for the development of the basketball. Thank God the federal government, even yesterday, the media said, the minister said, government is willing to review its position.
Exactly. So it's not a definite stance. If they are able to shake their thoughts, come together, we can exactly
finish.
So not carrying out threats against court action, taking the government to court will even prolong the crisis, and that's what whoever is advising them does not even know. Well, away from that now, quickly to the WAFU under 20B tournament, where yesterday, the Flying Eagles of Nigeria actually booked a ticket to the final of the tournament after defeating Cote d'Ivoire 2-1 in that one. With this victory over Cote d'Ivoire, first they'll be in the final of the WAFU Under-20 and also booked a ticket to the Under-20 AFCON Youth Championship. Minister of Sports Sunday Dari has actually applauded Nigeria's Under-20 male team for reaching the final of the ongoing WAFU Under-20B tournament. So, I mean, finally, they're now in the final. So, do we now say congrats to Ladamboso, or you still have your your reservations about the performance so far?
I said it yesterday. Ladamboso and the team went there with a target. They have to achieve the target first. And if they went there,
they've achieved the first part of the target, which is qualifying for the Under-20 AFCON, which is not finished.
It's not finished.
We still have the Under-20 World Cup.
They have achieved 50% of the target. They have achieved, which is the ultimate. This gives them a link to get to the ultimate result. But first and foremost, we say Ladamboso and his team, congratulations. They have run the country well in that regional championship. Now, as they prepare for it, and Ladamboso have enough time. This is just between now and January next year or next year to prepare, and at the same time look for more players. They now have a lot of time. They have no excuse now that they have a lot. I'm not even care either he win the WAFU Cup or he win the AFCON. The ultimate is not for him to win the WAFU Cup. What is the ultimate is to get the ticket. Now they are getting the ticket. So we congratulate him that either he lose in the final, I'm not interested. Either he lose or he win. But he has enough time now to prepare for the AFCON proper. Remember, even the AFCON is not the ultimate ticket because we have won the AFCON 7 times. If you have won it 7 times, so to go out to AFCON and win again, so it's not the desired result. But he has enough time to get to the AFCON and then get the ticket to get to the FIFA World Cup. And at the FIFA World Cup, do what Nigeria wants him to do. First and foremost, congratulations for what he has done so far. And we all should, just like the honorable minister said, don't rest on your own. You have a lot more way to go. Keep on and then see that you continue to make Nigeria proud.
Away from that now to some basketball, talking about youth development. Actually, Federal Minister of Sports has concluded arrangement to hold the maiden edition of the Under-18 Basketball Championship in the country with a view to ensuring more youth participation in the sport. So, Bernard, Ministry Youth and Sports organizing Under-18 Basketball Championships. I mean, this is mainly a program to develop and encourage young people to get into the sport. How do you see this move by the Ministry of Sports?
It's a nice move. In fact, I should give them an applause for that because with these steps, young talents will be discovered and the team will be strengthened because when you have more players, you now have more equipment to face what is ahead of you. So my own guess is that they should take it down to the roots, take it down to the streets, take it down to the local government where you see the young talents are there. They shouldn't leave it at the periphery. They need to dig deep so that they can get a better result. So I will applaud them for that. They should keep it up and make sure that it gets to at least the 36 states of the federation and come around the states. You must find a gold or silver, a medal that is hidden. You understand? That you need to be harvested and utilized. So they should gear up and put aside anything that will make them not to get to their point because the agenda is to bring out young scholars that will go there and represent Nigeria and make us proud.
I mean, very important. I mean, the ministry has actually advised state government to ensure that students participate actively. You know, a lot of times this kind of tournaments, I mean, back then in school, playing football, we played this kind of tournaments where it's meant for students. But at the end of the day, even sorry to say, even my school was guilty of that. We played the competition, and when we were getting to the semi-finals, we now see mercenaries, and they ask us to step aside, and people take over our positions. Hope to win. You know, hope this won't be that kind of thing.
just like when I say the ultimate is to when they get to the real target of the core actual players and actual grassroots who want to play. And just like this is part of the rebuilding process of the rebuilding process. And to me, these are the kind of plan the various stakeholders, the big faction or whatever faction, every stakeholder in the basketball needs to at this time put their hands together and use this period of window opportunities that government has created. So let us withdraw from international competition. Let's look at what our focus, our own development. Let's say to our have first. Because we can't be playing a basketball internationally, assemble the player, even the player that we are assembled to play outside. The only thing that connects us between them is just come carry Nigeria jersey, win and play.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that connects us. So they are not in Nigeria. So you need to create a will. Those guys were in Nigeria. Those guys need to create a window for young Nigerians that will also grow up to get that opportunity to go outside and play.
Exactly.
So it shouldn't just for a foreign players who are already there, they have already established themselves. And this is part of this government, the Minister of and so on, need to be applauded for this. And I told you, not just a deceptive move. They should go into detail and ensure that they carry out this project with all full implementation, just like Ben said, from the grassroots, and ensure that from there, according to it start from the zonal elimination. But not zonal elimination, they should also get to local government. Let every local government play at that level first. Then the best within the local government get to the state and play the state final. The best within the state get to their zone and play in the zone final before the ultimate final, before the ultimate national final.
Exactly. All right, down to some football, and that's talking about the EPL, where yesterday and a match went down, and it was Southampton at home to Liverpool. But initially, Southampton were looking like they were ready to cause an upset, but knowing Liverpool for how they are a lot of times, came back strong, equalized, and of course won that game. And by so doing, have cut that City's lead to just 1 point. And now, like we said earlier, this league is going down to the wire, and the final day will decide who eventually is crowned champions. Bernard, interesting game we saw today. Now, Liverpool just 1 point separates Man City and Liverpool. What are you expecting from the final day of the EPL? Of course, all matches will be played at the same time, so it's going to be really interesting.
Yeah. It's as you said, it's gonna be an interesting game. Looking at the two giants standing facing each other at a tournament like this. Liverpool is not a small club, neither is Man City.
Yeah.
In fact, it's a game that every man must watch and care of. But what I would say is that Liverpool should tighten up their belts, so as Man City to tighten up their belt. I'm not a Liverpool fan, Man City, but just Real Madrid. But I would just say they should tighten up their belt. The game is for the best.
I mean, certainly for all Man City needs to do is win, irrespective of Liverpool does. Just win your last game.
Just like unlike the Liverpool man, Mr. Club, who will be going to Aston Villa, and then when he will be going there with his radio or walking talking to ensure what I would normally do. What is happening? What is happening?
While you're playing your game, you're also keeping your ears on what's happening in other. Yeah.
But for Pep Guardiola has no that issue. All he just focus on the game at his front, win the match, and then his home dry. But another thing is that Man City is taking a trip to Aston Villa.
Yeah.
Liverpool, even the former Liverpool players and legends are now all eyes on Steven Gerrard, asking Steven Gerrard to do them a favor. So whether Steven Gerrard can withstand the heat from Pep Guardiola is another problem.
Exactly.
So there's a link that connects Liverpool and Aston Villa. And unfortunately for Man City, their last opponent is Aston Villa. Steven Gerrard if Steven Gerrard is just like is more like in Liverpool.
Sure.
For years, Steven Gerrard is in Liverpool, and up to today, he still have Liverpool in his blood. Yeah. So there was even speculation that after the club man, he might be the next coach of the Liverpool. So, and definitely he will be sympathetic to the Liverpool. People announced that begging him, like most of the Liverpool fans, former Liverpool players, and the legends and the hardest, everybody announced that Gerrard, you must do Liverpool a favor. But whether he can do that the favor is another ball game. So let's see how it's going to be on Sunday. Whether Gerrard will be able to rescue Liverpool with his Aston Villa team is another ball. But I don't think Pep Guardiola and his team and his players has anything to worry. All they need to just go to the field within the 90 minutes, score the goal they need to score, and win the match. Whatever happened in Liverpool, it's not their business.
All right, on to still on the EPL, where former Liverpool and Everton manager Rafa Benitez has actually blamed Frank Lampard for the struggles of Everton as they battle relegation, because according to him, he said when he left, as of when he was sacked as coach of Everton, Everton were still in at least a good position. But since Lampard came in, Lampard, who has been the one to drag them down to the point where Everton are now battling relegation. Do you actually agree with Benitez, Bernard?
No, I won't agree with that. Yes, I won't agree with that. Because, if you are a good, there's this saying that says that since you've been there, you shouldn't be talking down on your successor, on the person. Because you, one time or the other, faced a little challenge and you overcome it. So, like Frank Lampard being there now, and it's like things are wobbling and they are not stable, doesn't give him that right to say it's because of this person. It could be the game could turn around and this guy would
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.